Hey Lakewood 7th grade, this is Miss V again, and this is video 4 in our video series on percents. And what I'm going to talk about today is kind of percent increase and decrease, but part 2. So part 2 of percent increase and percent decrease. So the example I'm going to work for you today basically works on the same principles that we talked about in video 3, but it asks different questions. For example, let's say I have a video gaming console that is on the floor at Best Buy for $400, and it's been sitting there a very long time, and I'm interested in getting people to come in and buy it. And so I mark it down to $275. And you come in and you notice that there's a fabulous sale on this gaming console and you're thinking about buying it, but you want to know what the percentage is that it's been marked down. And your parents say, well, if it's 40% off or more, 40% off or more, we'll buy it for you. But we don't think it's a good enough sale if it's not 40% off. So here you are and you're saying, well, wait a minute. How do I know if that's 40% off? Well, what we have to do is we have to figure out what did we multiply 400 by to get to 275. Now, one of the things I do know is that whatever we multiplied by, it had to be less than 1. Because if I multiply 400 by 1, I get 400. And if I multiply 400 by something bigger than 1, I get a bigger number over here. So I know that I took 400 and I multiplied it by 1 minus some number that is my discount number right here. And that gives me $275. So I've got a pretty complicated equation to solve. And one of the things I know is that the first thing I need to do when I see these parentheses is distribute. And so if you haven't heard of the distributive property, I want you to ask somebody about it. I want you to go to Miss Hurst or to me or to any other math teacher in the building and say, hey, tell me what the distributive property is. So when I distributed, I multiplied the 1 by 400, and I also multiplied the x by 400, and I kept that minus sign in the middle intact, and that's important. So now I have a two-step equation, and I know what's going on is x is being multiplied by 400, and I'm also subtracting that from 400. So if I have a 400 over here, I can subtract 400 from both sides. And what I know is 400 minus 400 is 0. So that just leaves me with negative 400x. And over here, I have 275 minus 400, which is negative 125. So now I'm just multiplying, and I would do the inverse of multiplying. I would divide by negative 400. And we know that that is 1. It divides out to give me 1. And over here, I'm going to use my calculator and divide negative 125 by negative 400, and that gives me 0.3125. Now, that's a percent. Well, it's a decimal, but I'm going to turn it into a percent by moving the decimal place there. And I get 31.25%. And that's what the markdown has been on my gaming console. Mom and Dad said it had to be 40%, but it's only 31.25%. So it looks like they're going to have to mark this gaming console down a little bit more in order for it to be as appealing as we thought it was. So this is one way of figuring out what is the percentage that I marked it down by. One of the things I do want to show you is that if I marked it down by that percent, then that's the amount I took off. So I want to show you this real quick. If I marked it down by 31.25%, then I kept 0.6875 or 68.75%. So let's draw a picture to see how that works. This is the whole cost of my gaming console, $400. There's $100, $200, $300, and $4, right? And all together, that gives me 100%. I know that it was marked down 31.25%. So there was that much I didn't pay, which amounts to $125. And then there was this much I did pay, which amounts to $275. 68.75% is what I paid, and the 31.25% is what I saved. Okay, I'm going to come back with video 5 and do a couple more percent increase and decrease problems for you.